Hello everyone, welcome back. In this video, I am going to discuss another very famous Java interview question, and that is how to find the frequency of each element in an array of integer using stream API. So let's take one example to understand this better. So here, let me declare one array of integer, and you can see that in this array of integer, the frequency of 1 is 2, frequency of 3 is 1, frequency of 2 is 3, and finally frequency of 4 is also 3. And this is the expected output we want from this program. Now there are several ways to solve this problem, and the first approach is traditional one using the hash map and loop, and this approach was very famous before Java 8, but Java 8 onwards we will try to avoid writing the code based on the traditional way. So here I will write the code based on the stream API, and this is the modern way to solve this problem. So now let's start writing the code, and first I want to convert this array of integer into stream of integer, but there is no direct way to convert this array of integer into stream of integer. So what we can do here, we first convert this array into int stream. And to convert this array of integer into int stream, I will call the stream method on the arrays class. So let me write here arrays, and on this class, we'll call the stream method. And inside the stream method, we have to pass the array of integer as a parameter. So let me call this and let me pass our array of integer inside this stream method. And now my array got converted into int stream, not into stream of integer. And this int stream represent primitive int value, and on primitive stream we cannot use many of the stream API method such as grouping by, counting, and many more. So now I will convert this int stream into stream of integer, and to convert this int stream into stream of integer, I'm going to call the box method here. And finally my array got converted into stream of integer. So now from int stream it got converted into stream of integer, and now we can apply all stream operation on this stream of integer. The next step here is I'm going to group the element based on their value, and to group the element I'm going to call here grouping by method. And to use the grouping by method here, first I'm going to call the collect method, and inside this collect method we'll write collectors, and on this collectors we'll call the grouping by method. Now inside this method we'll start processing the number. And what this grouping by method will do, so this grouping by method will responsible to group all one together, and they will place into one bucket. They will group all three together and they'll put into another bucket. They will group all two together and they'll put into another bucket, and so on. And once grouping is done, we need to count how many elements are present in each group. And for that, we'll pass counting method as a second parameter inside this grouping by method. So here I'm going to write collectors, and on this collectors I'm going to call the counting method. So this counting method is responsible to count the number of elements from each group, and finally we'll get the result as a map of integer and long. So let me assign this result into one of the map variable. So this map will have the key and have the value, and key will be the number of unique elements from this array of integer, and the value will be frequency of those elements. Now let me print the value from this map object, and for that let me call the for each method on this variable, and inside this for each we'll declare key and we'll declare value. So key I can say as a number, and value we can say as a frequency. And now to print this key and value, I'm going to write here sysout, and in this sysout we'll print the key and we'll print the value. Now let me run this example and let me show you the output. You can see here the element 1 and their frequency is 2, element 2 and their frequency is 3, element 3 and their frequency is 1, and finally element 4 and frequency is 3. And this is our expected output for this given array of integer. Let me summarize you what I have done here. So first I convert the array of integer into int stream, and after that I converted that int stream into stream of integer. After converting the array of integer into stream of integer, I am trying to group all the elements based on their value, And for that, I call the grouping by method. This grouping by method is responsible to group all these elements based on their value. So they try to group all one together and they place into one bucket. They group all three together and they place into another bucket, and so on. And once grouping is done, then I want to know the count from each and every bucket. And to get the count from every group, I call the counting method, and I pass this counting method as a second parameter inside the grouping by method. And finally, we'll get map as a result, and we assign this result into one of the map variable. And finally, I try to print the value from this map. So I'm printing the key and I'm printing the value from this map. Now, let me tell you one more thing. In interview room, sometimes they will not give you array of integer. Sometimes they will give you list of integer. And if they will give you the list of integer, then you don't need to do this activity. You don't need to call the stream. You don't need to call the box method. Simply what you can do, you can call the stream method on that list and then call the grouping by method and then count the element. So this is all about how we can find the frequency from array of integer, or how we can find the frequency of element from list of integer. Thanks for watching. Please do like and subscribe my channel. Thanks again. We'll see you in the next video with one more new question.